Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Walker Ford in Clearwater, Florida, because guess what? We have it, and we have it first. This is the all-new 2020 Ford Escape. Now, before you start yelling at me and putting in the comments, Joe, you've already done Escapes, this is the first of the 2020 hybrids. And not only is it a hybrid, but also a titanium hybrid, which means that it's gonna have a lot of niceties inside, if that's even a word. I think it is, but if it's not, I just made it up. We'll add that to the Webster Dictionary with this 2020 Escape Hybrid. Let's talk a little bit about Escape history. This is the first time that the hybrid has made a return. They actually have had the hybrid Escape already. The last time was 2012. Now we're back 2020 with a whole updated system, 2 electric motors with that internal combustion engine, and of course, that styling, which is really giving a lot of people something to debate about. Some people are loving it, some people are hating it, some people are calling it every other thing under the sun. But let's go ahead and dive in to this all-new 2020 Escape Hybrid and see, really, is this car gonna fit the slot of all their other passenger vehicles disappearing? Off the bat, same styling. I think it's one of my favorite parts about hybrids today is that if you buy a hybrid, it still looks like the other versions of that same car. So you're gonna get that very, very large headlight housing, which I am gonna zonk. It's a little too big. I mean, there's probably more glass than in that window right behind us at Walker Ford. Now, obviously this isn't glass, it's plastic, but anyways, you know what I'm saying. LED lighting, you have your LED daytime running lamp. I do like the LED daytime running lamp, especially from a distance. The way it kind of just hugs that bottom portion has a nice look to it. You have your LED fogs. And then what's great is that there's no fake vents. Thank you for no fake vents. This is that Ford Focus, I'm calling it the Ford Focus grille design. Makes it look like a Catfish. Some people are saying it looks like a Porsche Macan or a Kia Sportage, but I guess, hey, imitation is the greatest form of flattery. Flat silver on the bottom. I think one of the challenges with this vehicle is that no matter what trim you go with, they look very similar. So I would like to see an all different grille design on a titanium if I'm gonna be paying more money, especially a hybrid compared to the SEL or the SE. We hop up onto the hood, same exact hood, very distinct body lines to give that raised center portion. Clean, it's not muddied up. That's one thing for sure, is it's not muddied up with a bunch of different angles, which at the end of the day, for a lot of people, that's a welcoming thing. One thing I wish they would have done is painted the fender treatment here the same color as the actual vehicle. I think that would have been a nice touch. Wheels, if you're wondering, well, what size are those? That's actually a 19-inch wheel, machined aluminum with the gunmetal gray. It's a 225 on the width, 55 series sidewall. The good news about 55 series sidewall is that it's gonna give you a nice, comfortable ride. As we go down the side of this hybrid, you'll notice that they didn't put a bunch of badging. Thank you, Ford, for not putting badging. Put like a big H, hybrid, on the side. We don't need to do that. Just, you'll be passing the gas pumps. That's where you get to show everybody that you're in a hybrid. Very slim and trim on the turn singles. You got chrome on top and bottom. And then I do like the lower sill area, the way it rises up and then it kind of tapers down. I think from the side, it helps give it a lot of personality because there's quite a bit of curving going on to the doors, to the body, which is unique. And sometimes though, it's nice to have a nice sharp edge. Up top, you are getting a panoramic sunroof, and I'm so happy to say that they black out the whole roof. A lot of manufacturers just do the glass part and then the rest is painted. Doesn't make sense. You do have flat black low roof rails, and then you keep coming back. That nice brush trim kind of comes all the way to the corner, and then coming out back, this is where you're gonna see that this is a hybrid. It says it right there. That's how you know it's a hybrid. The badge it's tasteful for the most part. It's interesting because it's about, I don't know, like half an inch off the back of the tailgate area. So I don't know why it couldn't just be a little bit more slim. I do like on the Escapes the way they integrate the reflector into that flared out rear bumper area. You do have your LED taillights. I think this needs to be hidden up here. I think it would just give it a nice cleaner look. I do like the way that the third brake light is just white instead of black reflection. Excuse me, what am I saying, black? Red reflection, very slim in there. Nice low roof spoiler. You drop down. I'm not digging the Escape badges, but I'm not going too crazy with it. It does give it a nice appearance, and I think it's so smart to have the flat black on the bumper fascia. There's that flat silver, and then yes, even on the hybrid, you're going to get 2 functioning dual exhaust tips. But why don't we go ahead, pop the hood, and see what is new for this hybrid. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. Underneath the hood, you'll see a lot of orange because those are cables carrying all that hybrid fun. So what you're looking at is a 2.5 liter inline 4 naturally aspirated engine. It all runs off that Atkinson cycle to be more efficient. It's going to be mated to 2 electric motors. Combined, it's given us 198 horsepower. If you're wondering, well, is this thing heavier? Yes, it does weigh about 250 pounds more than your standard Escape, but where you're really gonna pay big dividends is gonna be at the pump. 44 mpgs in the city and 37 on the highway. It is mated to a CVT, as most hybrids are. Underneath the hood, what can I say? You got that nice squishy Nerf engine cover. Other than that, like I said, where you're gonna be the true winner with this Escape is as you're passing the fuel stations. But is this a big competitor to that CR-V and the RAV4? That's really the big question here. Is this the way to go hybrid-wise? But why don't we go ahead and check out that interior and see what the Escape's bringing to the table. All right, guys, we're inside the 2020 Escape Hybrid. First time here on Rady's Rides. I know you're at that point. Well, Joe, is this a competitor? When you're looking at the CR-V Hybrid that's new for 2020, when you're looking at the RAV4 Hybrid, what's the price on this one? You're looking at MSRP around $36,000. Let's see what you get for the money. Now, to the door panels, they did break up the dark with a little bit of light. So you have that tan material on the armrest. It's a leatherette type material. It is soft. You got the wood grain, which is a nice touch. The one thing I am gonna zonk on the Escape is I don't like the back portion where it looks like somebody dug out portions of the door with their fingernail. You do have the optional B&O sound system and a very large pocket down there for even the biggest of super big gulps. So that's a very nice touch. When you get to the dash, same soft material. I like the way the wood grain integrates very nicely into this midsection. I know some of you hate these, but it does have an iPad style infotainment system screen. Now the good news is that it's more like the Mazda system where it's sort of like brought into the dash rather than a Toyota that's just stuck on with chewing gum. Very easy to use. You got your navigation, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, so you're gonna be covered from all bases. There's your navigation. The start stop button is in a weird kind of place. It's around the bend over here. Little bit of gloss black. Where you're gonna not like the Escape is this area here. This feels very rental car-ish, but you do get dual climate control, heated seats, but no ventilated seats, so that's a zonk. You do get a heated steering wheel, nice cubby with no wireless charging. So that to me is a zonk at $36,000. You get a USB-C, a 12 volt, 2 cup holders. There's your standard key fob from Ford with the same exact buttons, just if you got a regular Escape. This is gonna control that CVT transmission. You do have different drive modes, electric e-brake, nice soft armrest. You lift it up and then you have plenty of room for, I think you could go Snickers like crazy in here. You could probably fit about 14, 15 Snickers in there. Or if you're Reese's peanut butter cups, you could stack them up and probably get about 20 in there, 20 packages. That's pretty impressive. USB conveniently placed. And then these seats, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of tan interior, but it does break everything up. So soft material is supportive. I wish they were ventilated. I do like the stitch work. And of course, you're gonna get power on both sides of the business here. And then up top, you're getting that panoramic sunroof, which is another nice touch. But why don't you get on over to the business side where you're gonna be sipping fuel as you're driving down the road. All right, guys, business time. Just like on the other titanium trim, you are gonna get the 3 memory settings, so you're not losing that with the hybrid. Nice seating position, and I do really like the seats overall. I think Ford did a good job with the seats. Steering wheel, I'm telling you, it's one of the squishiest steering wheels I've ever squeezed, but you know what? I like it. I think over a long drive, it's gonna feel comfortable. Kind of a little bland in this area here with the flat black buttons. The good news is you're not gonna get fingerprints all over it. A little bit of gloss black, but not really the sexiest steering wheel. But that's okay because you're in an Escape. You're not in a GT350. You got your 12-inch display in here, which I love. I absolutely love this display. You could toggle through a cornucopia of information there. Plus, watch this, we have our drive modes. So we're in normal, we go eco. Shouldn't that be like the mandatory in a hybrid? You're already in a hybrid. Why do we need to go into eco mode? Sport, of course, if you're feeling kind of sporty in your hybrid, you could let your hair down and get a little wild. Just watch out for the cops. Slippery when wet. Deep snow and sand. You're probably going to get stuck if you're in that deep snow and sand, so I don't recommend that. And then, of course, we're back to normal again. But who really wants to be normal anyways? But up front, I'm feeling good. Let's go ahead and check out the back seat and see how your passengers are going to be liking the hybrid. All right, guys, back seat time. Here's the good news. Well, it's actually the great news. Even being a hybrid, you're not losing a lot of space back here. Just a little bit. It's like the smallest of margins from the battery packs. But other than that, it feels really good back here. You have the backs of the seats wrapped in the leather, and you're going to get one whole pocket. So if you have kids, they're going to be fighting over this one pocket all day long. 2 AC vents. I love the way they have a home power source, but you have no other connectivity. No USB-C, no 12 volt. It's only through that power source. If you're wondering, well, Joe, you look like you're sitting really upright. I am, because the seats actually recline, which is a wonderful feeling. And, whoops, don't want to mess with the microphone system here. And they slide, so you're not losing any of those features. Why don't we go ahead, check out the cargo area and see if you're losing any cubic feet back there. All right, guys, time to see what kind of junk can we put in the trunk of a hybrid. I'm really digging how fast the tailgate area opens. So there is your room. You're actually losing just a little bit. So your standard Escape is around 35 cubic feet. This hybrid is 30.7 cubic feet. So you are losing just a little. Those seats, of course, will do the 60-40 split. You have your 12 volt connection back here, which is a nice touch. We lift this up, there's your spare and some areas where you could hide things. If you're wondering, well, hey, where's the battery, Joe? They actually mount the battery in the back. It's all about weight distribution. They get that from racing, remember? So that's fascinating. So if you ever need a jump, don't look under the front, it's in the back. You press that, drops on down. Let's go ahead and take this hybrid for a spin and see how well it drives. All right, guys, we're in the all-new, not just the all-new Escape, but this is the all-new, fresh right off of the delivery truck, 2020 Escape Hybrid. Now remember, we have those 2 electric motors with the Atkinson cycle internal combustion engine. I'm telling you, driving these Escapes, the more I get behind the wheel of them, very, very comfy right off the bat. What's interesting though is that the dash is a little high, but still I feel like there's plenty of room up front, which is really nice. And then of course, with the hybrid system, you're gonna get some really wonderful maximum MPGs and have the versatility of a crossover vehicle. Very, very smooth. And I think that, like I said, this is the direction that Ford is going in now, because they got rid of all their passenger cars. It's sort of like driving a Focus, just a little bit larger, like an inflated Focus, but very, very smooth. I love this dash. This 12-inch digital display is on the money, especially when it comes to showing you the charging of the batteries and your power usage and all that good stuff. Really easy to understand, easy to read. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna live life dangerously. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in sport mode, because what hybrid should not be in sport mode, right? But we have it in sport mode. That's gonna change the parameters of how the power delivery is and whatnot. You do have a CVT transmission. I ask you to go find me a hybrid that does not have a CVT transmission. The reason why CVTs are used is to kind of combat the integration of the engine turning off and on in conjunction with the working of the electric motors. As you see, the engine just shut off right there. So right now we're on full electric while we're sitting here. AC feels good. Visibility is really nice. I think, like I said, the good news is that it's smart that it's comfy in here, because you're going to be able to now drive a longer distance without having to stop for fuel. All right, guys, let's see how the acceleration does as we're going to merge onto the highway here. I get on the throttle. I tell you, not too shabby with that electric assist from 2 electric motors, which is really nice. Now, the negative side is that with a CVT, you do get that constant RPM drone, but she gets up and goes. Now stay tuned, because in a few months, there is gonna be also the release of the first ever hybrid plug-in Escape. So that will be coming very shortly to Walker Ford, and you definitely want to tune in for this. But the great news is driving this Escape, it feels just like your standard internal combustion engine setup, which is good, because you want it to behave the same, you want it to drive the same. And I'm liking more and more that these hybrids look the same as their traditional engine setup, which is nice. Because it seemed for a while that if you went hybrid, you had to go hybrid to where it looked like an art project that your 5-year-old did. Now it's like, okay, you still got the same looking car, but you're getting the extended range of the hybrid utility of it. But very, very smooth. Let's see how she handles. Remember, this is a few extra 100 pounds heavier than your standard Escape on the brakes into this turn. The steering is very light, but there's good feedback, which I like. Getting on throttle with the hybrid setup, as you can see, not an issue. Merging, I'm gonna change lanes here. Back on throttle. Just you hear it, that constant RPM of the CVT, because there's no gears in a CVT transmission. So that's the one thing that you're just gonna have to accept if you wanna go the hybrid route. And that's not just a Ford thing. You look at the Toyota RAV4 Hybrid, same story. Same thing with the new Honda CR-V Hybrid. They're very, very smooth. And the steering, I'm telling you, the steering wheel, not only the feedback that you're getting, but also the materials, very, very nice soft touch on the steering wheel, which is gonna help you for those longer drives, especially since you're not gonna be stopping for fuel as often. So it kind of makes sense. But back on throttle. I'll tell you, not too shabby. Now remember, I do have it in sport mode. There's a plethora of other modes you could put it into. But I think the biggest thing to take away from this is that it drives just like your standard Escape, even with the extra weight, and you're not losing a ton of space. Remember, you're only losing about 5 cubic feet of room in that cargo area. Other than that, your passengers are not even gonna notice that there's batteries underneath where they're sitting, because the space that they're losing is minuscule, very, very small. But hopefully this gave you a great overview of the hybrid Escape. We're gonna go ahead, get back to Walker Ford and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been an amazing time here at Walker Ford, learning, feeling, experiencing this 2020 Escape Hybrid. Is it a good competitor to the RAV4 Hybrid and that new CR-V Hybrid? That's yet to be really determined, but stay tuned to Rady's Rise for that. I want to thank definitely Frank Walker, Western Walker, Tracy, Benji, Mark, Austin, Jason, the whole crew here, so accommodating to get this first off the truck 2020 hybrid for all of you guys, because you deserve it. But if it's vehicles like these that you want to keep seeing on the channel, leave a comment in the comment section. If you are new and you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description. Get yourself some Rady's Rise merch. Got to give it up to Big Uz McGee, Tom Moschner. You know what? We have some electric motors out of this Escape here on display. He's been benching them in the waiting room. So definitely stay tuned for that footage on Rady's Rise. And just like always, I'll see you on the next ride.